Susan West comments about local seafood and her involvement with NC Catch. She was interviewed by Sandi Jones Garrison, January of 2014.
I'm still focused on general policy. In other words, my attention really isn't directed at something like a particular closed fishing season or a gear restriction, but my attention is on sort of broader issues, like who will be able to fish in the future. Are we implementing regulations and policy that help us get to that point where we want to get in the future? Have we considered that it's very difficult for young people to get into the industry now? When my husband got into the industry, he worked several years as a mate. And then we bought our first boat, was a shad boat for pound netting in the Sound. The boat cost a couple $1,000, and that was the expense, and the expense of gear of the net. Now, for some fisheries, we have permits that you have to buy that can cost, well, a sea skull permit is several $1,000,000. So young people don't have the opportunities to start a small business commercial fishing the way my husband and that generation had. Are there things that we can do to help young people? Are there things, another thing I've been involved with recently is working to ensure that seafood is viewed as a local food. Mm-hmm. There's lots for farmers, local food, produce and all, but we also, right here, seafood is our local food, essentially. Mm-hmm. So moving seafood into the whole local foods movement, and I think that has been good, it's been strong, it helps for people to see seafood and commercial fishing, to remember, mm-hmm. That's what fishermen do, is harvest the resource for consumers, bring that seafood out of the water so it can get on tables. Since 2011, I've served on the board of a nonprofit called NC Catch that helps local catch groups like Outer Banks Catch promote local seafood and educate consumers that we do have local seafood here, mm-hmm. but there's seasons to it. A whole lot of consumer education needs to go on about availability of seafood. Well, how would people even know to ask for local seafood? Because our commercial fishing fleet is not very visible. Mm. So, you're a visitor here, you don't know that they're commercial fishermen. You go to the restaurant, you don't know enough to even ask for local seafood. Mm-hmm. That's something that I've been involved with. Broader policy issues, more than specific regulatory detail. There's some examples in other parts of the country of communities helping mm-hmm. young people get into the fishing industry. Communities that don't want to lose their working mm-hmm. waterfronts, don't want to lose commercial fishing as both an economic activity but also as an important heritage component. So we need to look at some of those communities and learn more about what they're doing and see if we could do that in North Carolina.